Iran's rulers promised to destroy my country, murder my people. And the response from this body, the response from nearly every one of the governments represented here, has been absolutely nothing. Utter silence.
The war between Israel and Iran, it hides a very big secret. In order for you to understand it, watch this.
Iran lied about never having a nuclear weapons program. America and Israel must stand together. Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
As long as I'm President of the United States, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. Good morning.
The Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he's been going in the United Nations for more than 45 years. During these 45 years, he had no other mission over there than to attack Iran by saying all this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't intend to come here this year. My country is at war, fighting for its life. But after I heard the lies and slanders leveled at my country by many of the speakers at this podium, I decided to come here and set the record straight. I decided to come here to speak for my people, to speak for my country, to speak for the truth. And here's the truth. We are winning because we must all do everything in our power to ensure that Iran never gets nuclear weapons. For decades, I've been warning the world against Iran's nuclear program. Our actions delayed this program by perhaps a decade, but we haven't stopped it. We've delayed it, but we haven't stopped it. Iran now seeks to weaponize its nuclear program for the sake of the peace and security of all your countries. For the sake of the peace and security of the entire world, we must not let that happen. And I assure you, Israel will do everything in its power to make sure it doesn't happen. But I have a message for you. Israel will win this battle. We'll win this battle because we don't have a choice. After generations in which our people were slaughtered, remorselessly butchered, and no one raised a finger in our defense. We now have a state. We now have a brave army, an army of incomparable courage, and we are defending ourselves. To the people of Israel and to the soldiers of Israel, I say, be strong and of good courage. חזקו ואמצו ואל תיראו מפניהם. כי אדוני אלוהיך הוא ההולך עמך, לא ירפך ולא יעזבך. עם ישראל חי, the people of Israel live, now, tomorrow, forever. Thank you.
All right, let us start everything from the beginning. In April the 3rd, the government of Netanyahu, they have launched a missile to the embassy of Iran in Syria.
emergency workers scaled rubble inside Iran's embassy compound in Syria after a suspected bombing by Israeli warplanes on Monday.
The U.S. must be held accountable for the attack on its consulate building in Damascus. It blames Israel for the strike, which killed 2 senior commanders of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, as well as 11 other people.
A strong response. That is what Iran is promising after its consulate section in Damascus was hit by allegedly Israeli airstrikes.
For me, when I first saw all this, I was not surprised like everyone. Well, I did not either take this like one of the actions which people are used to see in the Middle East. But for me, I saw this as a big warning because this was a big sign showing that we are about to engage yet in another World War III. Why? Because Israel did not do all these things on its own. He did it, of course, with the support of its own big brother, which is the United States of America, the world's biggest army. But on the other side, we're having Iran, which is allies to Russia and China and North Korea. Now, what is the objective of Benjamin Netanyahu from all this? Why is Israel trying to attack Iran several times? What is Benjamin Netanyahu winning from all this? Because first of all, we saw he make a false accusations against Iran by saying that it is Iran who supports Hamas and it is Iran who wants to bring instability in Israel. The motivation behind Benjamin Netanyahu's reaction to attack Iran is something which has to do with his power. Remember, we are talking about the man who's being already under the International Criminal Court warrant arrest against him. So he's doing everything by all means to protect his own interests. Why? Because if he remains out of power, his place will be in jail. Therefore, he needs now to see on how he can bring the Israelites all together behind him so that he can remain longer in power. Because the Israelites, they were already complaining against him for the fact that he keep on killing innocent people in Gaza.
Thousands of Israelis took to the street for a second day, pushing past police lines and converging near the home of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem, many blaming his delay in signing a ceasefire deal.
The government of Israel is a threat to the world peace.
For the first time since mass protests and a labor strike broke out following Saturday's news of the dead captives, Netanyahu addressed the country.
I told the families, and I will say it again tonight, I apologize and ask for your forgiveness.
When Benjamin Netanyahu released this report, well, it was not easy for him because at the end of the day, the people of Israel, they were so angry and so upset against him. So they were thinking already on how to remove him in power. But seeing the outcome of Benjamin Netanyahu after him being removed in power as a leader, he did not want to leave that. So he ended up coming up with another new strategy, which is to bring something which will unite people of Israel, something which they can be able to speak the same language, which is Iran on the page.
We're determined to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. We leave all options on the table, and containment is definitely not an option. The Jewish state will not allow those who seek our destruction to possess the means to achieve that goal. A nuclear-armed Iran must be stopped.
Now, at this point, we can all agree that the intention of Benjamin Netanyahu to attack Iran, it is all by him trying to survive politically. Since within his government or in his country, people, they were already being divided. There were those who were pro-Benjamin Netanyahu, and there were those ones who believed that he's a man who needs to leave the space. And he succeeded to bring all these people together by showing them their common enemy, which is Iran.
Iran lied about never having a nuclear weapons program.
Benjamin Netanyahu seemed to waken up the threat of Iran against Israel by mentioning that Iran it is busy developing a nuclear bomb which can destroy the Israel all over. That strategy seemed to be working very good for Benjamin Netanyahu. But guys, I remember when I was growing up at school, they teach us that the development of nuclear bomb, it had been banned from the entire world. So this left other countries without having a nuclear bomb, including Israel itself. They have nuclear bombs which they have not declared it to the entire world. They are doing it in secret. But these countries, they have nuclear bombs, yet they don't want to allow other nations to have nuclear bombs. For what reasons? Of course, because they don't want other nations to look like them. You know, this is kind of like reminding me the round table game. Imagine you are sitting somewhere quiet, luxury, next to a round table, playing to the cards. As you are busy betting, the person who end up losing this card, they put their hands on their gun and then point it on you. You other people who have not a guns in your possession, what are you gonna do? Of course, you'll raise your hands and surrender because you don't want your life to be in danger. And you let this person who's in the possession of a pew-pew to do whatsoever pleases them. That is the same thing which is happening right now between all these nations which have the nuclear bombs in their possession. So these countries, when they came up with these rules in the United Nations Charter saying that no more the producing or development of nuclear bombs all over around other countries in the world, it is because they want to have something in their possession which will make them be able to dominate other nations in the world. Now imagine such kind of dictatorship. So in other words, they wanted to tell you something that you'll have to think twice before you attack them. Because this nuclear bomb, once they hit it here, well, there will be nothing remain of you. Now, what is happening here between Iran and Israel fight? Of course, they are fighting over the leadership. It is either Israel wanting to take over Iran at the same time wanting to take over the control of the whole entire Arabic region. At the same time, the United States of America wanting to be influencing all this country over there. Iran trying to resist against them. And this end up making the US and Israel to become even good buddies in order for them to defeat Iran. So that is the reason why Israel, they are doing everything by all means to stop Iran from developing this nuclear bomb, because they are so afraid and they believe that Iran, they are so this close in order for them to be done with this nuclear bomb.
This is a bomb. This is a fuse. In the case of Iran's nuclear plans to build a bomb, this bomb has to be filled with enough enriched uranium. And Iran has to go through 3 stages. The first stage, they have to enrich enough low enriched uranium. The second stage, they have to enrich enough medium enriched uranium. And the third stage and final stage, they have to enrich enough high enriched uranium for the first bomb. If these are the facts, and they are, where should a red line be drawn? A red line should be drawn right here.
That exactly is the fear of Israel, because they know very well that Iran developing this nuclear bomb, it will actually make them become useless and they will lose their power or their influence in the Middle East. Therefore, they need to do everything by all means to stop Iran from developing this nuclear bomb. But how can they do it without the support of their big brother, which is the USA? We saw how Benjamin Netanyahu was welcomed several times in the White House, where he have to explain his plan to the American Senate so that they can see on how they can be able to start attacking Iran.
This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization. It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life. For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together. Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose. And my friends, I came to assure you today of one thing: we will win.
As long as I'm President of the United States, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon.
You see now, with the support of the US, Israel, they now start attacking Iran everywhere, whether it is outside Iran or inside Iran.
ما مشغول مذاکره بودیم.
We were engaged in negotiations. In the middle of a diplomatic process, we were confronted with an act of aggression by the Zionist regime. As I have previously stated, we cannot imagine that such an action by the Zionist regime could have taken place without coordination, cooperation and support from the United States.
President Trump, with the Canadian Prime Minister at the G7, didn't sound inclined to enter the conflict on Israel's side, but was nonetheless putting the onus on Iran.
They have to make a deal, and it's painful for both parties, but I'd say Iran is not winning this war, and they should talk, and they should talk immediately before it's too late.
During all this attack that Israel made on Iran, well, they were also attacking many leaders of Iran army, commandos. And these people, they were killed one by one, whether they were inside Iran or outside. But that was not all. Israel went even far by killing a Hamas leader who was in exile in Iran. They went in there, they broke all the human rights charter to attack another sovereign country and kill someone inside.
Political leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, has been killed in Iran. That's according to statements from Hamas and Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Iran state TV is also reporting he's been assassinated in the capital. According to the Revolutionary Guard, Haniyeh and one of his bodyguards were killed in a strike on the building in Tehran where they were staying. He was in the capital meeting President Masoud Pezeshkian ahead of his inauguration. So these are the latest pictures of that meeting in Tehran on Tuesday. He then attended Pezeshkian's swearing-in ceremony. Iran says it's investigating the killing of Ismail Haniyeh.
That is how far Israel government of Benjamin Netanyahu have to go. And all this is happening. Keep in mind, the so-called Iran, which is being accused of trying to bring instability in Israel, they have not reacted. They have not either attacked Israelis or they have not tried to kill any of command of Israel. Yet they are the one who are being victim from all this. Now, can you imagine yourself in the position of Iran? Iran, they find themselves in a very hard position. Why? It's not because they can't be able to attack back on Israel or they can't hit back as much as Israel does to them. No. But it's because they have to think twice. One, before attacking Israel, they'll have to consider the kind of relationship which Israel have with the United States of America, which we call as the big brother to Israel. Secondly, they'll have also to think of the kind of the influence which they have in the Middle East. All these countries such as Syria, Lebanon, Taliban, all these countries, they kind of like believing more in Iran than in Israel. And Iran, they have to do something in order to assure these people that yes, they have everything's under control. Why? Because if Iran failed to do so, well, it would be very big disappointing for all these countries, these Arabic countries who believe in Iran leadership. They'll feel like, no, now it seems like we're on our own, we're being exposed because Iran, which is supposed to be our shoulder, now it's kind of like failing us. So while Iran still waiting, trying to figure out what they can do as a solution to all this, well, in 2020, just before the pandemic of COVID-19, Israel have struck again on Iran, and this time they end up killing one of the most powerful men in Iran politics. And here we're talking about Qasem Soleimani.
The aftermath shows an attack that was deliberate and sustained. With around a half dozen explosions, the Americans firing with drones clearly didn't want to miss their target, Iran's general Qasem Soleimani. He'd reportedly just gotten into Iraq from Beirut and was leaving Baghdad airport when he was killed in a convoy of vehicles along with a top Iraqi militia leader. President Trump tonight.
Soleimani was plotting imminent and sinister attacks on American diplomats and military personnel, but we caught him in the act and terminated him.
The imminent attacks planned by Soleimani targeted U.S. diplomats, U.S. military personnel, and facilities that house Americans in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and the region of the Middle East, a senior State Department official told reporters today. Qasem Soleimani was no ordinary general. The U.S. officially classified him as a terrorist, but in Iran, he was a national hero. Specifically, Soleimani was in charge of spreading Iranian influence around the world, and he was extremely good at it. Smart, charismatic, ruthless, strategic, and bold, Soleimani knit together a loyal network of armed groups from Iraq to Syria, Lebanon to Afghanistan.
Even myself at that time, I did not have any idea about who was Qasem Soleimani until I have to make a certain kind of research in order for me to understand who was this man. Yes, this man was a hero for the people of Iran.
What the United States did yesterday should have been done long ago. A lot of lives would have been saved. Just recently, Soleimani led the brutal repression of protesters in Iran, where more than 1,000 innocent civilians were tortured and killed by their own government. We took action last night to stop a war. We did not take action to start a war. I have deep respect for the Iranian people. They are a remarkable people with an incredible heritage and unlimited potential. We do not seek regime change. However, the Iranian regime's aggression in the region, including the use of proxy fighters to destabilize its neighbors, must end, and it must end.
Qasem Soleimani is responsible for the death of American citizens and many other innocent people. He was planning more such attacks. President Trump deserves all the credit for acting swiftly, forcefully, decisively. Israel stands with the United States in its just struggle for peace, security, and self-defense. Thank you.
The death of this man, Qasem Soleimani, it had revolted the whole entire Arabic region, including the Iranian people who wanted to revenge him. Oh yes, they wanted to revenge this man.
And anger at Friday prayers in the Iranian capital for the assassination of a man who led the charge against ISIL in Iraq and Syria, and whose death seems likely to lead to more conflict.
God willing, it is now time to clear and cleanse the region of these devils. It is now time to show more resistance to the Americans and show our resistance with action, to tell those Yankees to get out of here, get lost.
For Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Soleimani was a trusted confidant, a member of his inner circle. His killing in a targeted attack, the most extreme escalation in tensions between Tehran and Washington in recent years. Khamenei warned there will be revenge.
The cruelest people on earth assassinated the honorable commander who courageously fought for years against the evils and bandits of the world. Soleimani's martyrdom will make Iran more decisive to resist America's expansionism and to defend our Islamic values. With no doubt, Iran and other freedom-seeking countries in the region will take his revenge.
Now, here you'll see that the Iranian government, they were fed up. They were here, they were done. Because now they have reached the point of them start escalating this conflict. But at the same time, they are thinking, what will be the outcome once they start escalating this fight? What they did the next? They plan to revenge on the US military base, but they have to think twice by alerting the US of what they will have to do next. Now, you might ask a question to know, why is Iran have to give a warning to the US about what they are planning to do to their military base, which was located in this Arabic region? Well, because the government of Iran, they did not want to cause a lot of harms or a lot of damage to the USA, because they know that if that happened, obviously with Donald Trump knowing him very well, he was gonna escalating it and making it even become even more worse. Keep in mind, Iran, they had to do something in order for them to rejoice the hearts of these people who were so angry and so desperate to revenge the death of Qasem Soleimani. So they have to send this warning to the USA so that the USA can be able to evacuate all the necessary tools and everyone who were in this military base. And it is for that reason the USA, in return, they did not escalate, because there were not much damage to this military camp in the Arabic region.
Explosions lit up Israel's night sky as interceptors took down dozens upon dozens of Iranian-launched drones. Israel's military spokesman said the nation's defense systems detected incoming drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles launched from Iran and its proxies.
Together with our allies and partners across the region, we are operating at this very moment to defend Israel from Iran's attack. So far, we have intercepted the vast majority of incoming missiles by Israeli systems.
The damage to Israel was far less than had been feared. Israeli officials said one child was hurt and a military base suffered minor damage.
We are at a critical moment for the region, and it is important that all parties take steps over the coming days to refrain from escalation and calm tensions. Escalation is in no one's interest.
Our goal is to de-escalate and then get back to the issue at hand, securing an end to the conflict in Gaza by getting a ceasefire in Gaza through a hostage deal.
We urge the West and Jerusalem to follow suit and reject the practice of provocative use of force in the Middle East, as they are fraught with extremely dangerous risks and consequences for the whole region.
China calls on the parties concerned to show maximum calm and restraint and resolve their differences and disputes in accordance with the purposes of the UN Charter.
You are wrong. This attack crossed every red line, and Israel reserves the legal right to retaliate. We are not a frog in boiling water. We are a nation of lions.
It was precise and only targeted military objectives and carried out carefully to minimize the potential for escalation and prevent civilian harm.
So here we see an Iran government that responds back to the provocation which Israel had started. But again, that was not enough for Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu, he now went again and started striking on Iran. Last Friday, you saw on how they attack Iran nuclear facilities. And when they hit so hard. But Iran, they're like, no, enough, it is enough. We rather do something about this. In return, Iran also hit back on Israel. But hitting Israel, not on their nuclear weapons, no, hitting Tel Aviv city. In return, Israel did something which many people were not seeing this coming. Israel starts killing all the commanders of the Iranian regime. It's killing them one by one. They kind of like trying to attack the decision makers. Why? Because the mission of Benjamin Netanyahu from all this is kind of like trying to change the leadership of Iranian.
So my fingers are crossed and I'm pulling for them because the Iranian people deserve better. And I'd like to say something to them, Liz. Mardomi Iran, in regime shoma ra garukan garefte. Vakhta azad ast ma ba shoma hastim. To the people of Iran, the regime has held you hostage and it is time for your freedom. Israel stands with you. It's time to stand up.
Without the US, Israel could not do what it's doing in Palestine, in Iraq, in Lebanon, in wherever it's carrying out aggressions, genocides, and killings of civilians. If this would be impossible without US support.
What is the theory? The theory is assassination and regime change. So the idea is decapitation rather than on the ground military invasion. The idea is get rid of Saddam Hussein and Iraq becomes an Israeli vassal. Get rid of Muammar Gaddafi and Libya becomes an Israeli vassal. Get rid of the great leader and then Iran serves Israel's purpose.
Now, what is my take in all this? Well, the situation in the Middle East or all over around the world, it's something which can affect me and you, like it or not. Why? Because someday there will be someone who would like to provoke us by force without us attacking them or saying anything to them. But just because they feel like provoking us, and they'll try to stop in front of us by trying to attack us. Keep in mind that when someone is provoking you, it is because they want to see your reaction. And here, the kind of reaction they're expecting from you, it's a reaction which will come under the emotions. And we all know that once you are being provoked to a certain level that you can't be able to control yourself, you would like to react. And once you try to react, you react with a very serious, or should I say, brutal emotions toward this person more than the way they were to attack us. And in most of the case, what will be your reactions? It will be what will count the most. No one will pay attention to the fact that you are being attacked. No. They'll pay attention to what will be your reactions, because they'll say that you react out of anger. Now, here's the easy way to deal with this kind of people. And these three measures, it's something which can help all these governments who are trying to attack one another. It is very clear that Iran is being provoked, and the entire world could see who's provoking Iran here. 2. Iran should not react under the emotions of the provokers, because Iran reacting under the emotions is going to expose their power to the eyes of everyone. 3. Iran should focus on their nuclear development. Try to see on how they can protect all these individuals who are behind all this, and stay away from all these provocations that are coming from the Western. Let them be and wait for the right time to strike back. Iran is responding back to the US and Israel. It is something that it is coming out of emotions. And for the fact that it's coming out of emotions, is not going to bring up a good result. Iran rather accept to be defeated right now so that at the right time they'll know how to attack back. That is a better strategy which Iran can apply in order for them to survive against Israel right now. Guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. We really do appreciate your presence. It was very important that we come here and reveal the secrets that is behind all this war we are seeing between Israel and Iran. For centuries, this war has been going on, and we believe it's about time for the truth to be told. I believe you have learned something, and I trust that you also have something which you would like to share with us in the comment section. Drop it down. We're looking forward to that. But above all, please do support us by liking this video. Just give us your thumbs up. We'll really do appreciate that. It's free of charge. It is a way of you also encouraging us for all the effort we are making in order for us to provide you with this kind of positive content, because we are making a serious research in order for us to come up with all these things together. So we'll really do appreciate you if you can appreciate us as well in return by liking this video or supporting us in any way possible. We're looking forward to see you again in our next video. But for now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. Also again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.